this hat, right? I'll wear it like this. Okay, so I'm gonna be using the Druid's Craft Tarot deck today. Let me shuffle that for you. They're kind of big, so I have to handle them gently and with care so that I don't damage them. But then I also have to like have a sort of hefty grip, right? Um, your ruling planet is in Aquarius right now and in you. Saturn is there. How does it feel? Does it feel comfortable? Does it feel restricting? Mars is there about to finish out his transit. That was crazy. The moon came into conjunction with Mars at one point while Saturn was there. How was that for you? This is my 5th house. Maybe that was an extra one. But, yeah. Romance, fun and games. That's for me, though. So, if you are an Aqua rising, then let's look and see where that Uranus is in your chart. Wish fulfillment, potential that is now seen once you've pushed past something. You've made it to the next step, or you just feel less restricted than you did before. Completion, something that you feel like you wanted, that you got, that brought you some fulfillment, some success, some sense of completion. You know, you are aware of what is happened or what has happened. Yes, something that has been established, okay, is doing something for you, right? Stability is doing something for you. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle these again because those 3 just kind of popped out. Let's do it one more time, Aqua. Okay, so you could be thinking about what you're going to say to someone. You might just be feeling like, you know, you want to say the right thing. Yeah. Weighing out what you're going to say, weighing out your options. Oh, that was it. So now the world is at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and cut it and lay the cards out. And then I'm going to also tell you what other cards I'm going to be using. So I'm also going to be using the Runes Oracle deck. Okay. And that one looks like this. I'm also going to be using the Romance Angels Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue. Those look like this. And I'm going to also be using the Keepers of the Light Oracle deck by Kyle Gray. And that one looks like this. Okay. And let's go ahead and look at the bottom of your deck. Prince of Wands. So this is the Knight of Wands. This is Sagittarius energy. And this is double fire. This is somebody that is highly opinionated, highly spirited. They might even seem like they know it all. You know what I mean? They're taking charge. They are moving fast. They might be very strong in their opinion. They might be coming across a little bit dogmatic. This is the intimidation of someone wanting to move quickly, or someone wanting to put a label on something, or someone wanting to say something that has meaning. You know, when maybe they want to express what they have learned or what they have observed in a very spirited way. Or maybe they are expressing what they have observed in a very passionate way. Because this is passion, this is drive, this is energy moving forward quickly. Yes, it's a situation that's happening fast. And it's one that can be a little intimidating based on that sense of speed and happening, right? It's, you know, where are you going with this opportunity? What direction? This energy is being very directed, very piercing, very straight. you know, very sagittal with it. Okay, so you might be dealing with a Sagittarius. You could be dealing with a Scorpio as well, you know. So you might just be feeling free from a place that you were feeling held back before. And now you just feel compelled to go ahead and move forward with something, you know. Um, and this is kind of like just maybe it's quick, but you know, whatever. This could also be sexual energy, you know, because it's coming from a hidden place of Scorpio, right? There's 1/3 of Scorpio that is this card here, and that is somebody that you feel like, you know, there's some hidden emotions here, right? You could be suppressing some deep feelings for something as you move forward quickly with another, because this Sagittarius energy is very mutable and it can be kind of detached, but it's also fire. So fire is like, how can fire be detached? You know, it's kind of like taking that passion elsewhere, taking that passion all over the place, taking that energy. You know, this is a spreading out of one's energy in some kind of way, shape, or form. Yeah. Someone could be intimidated by um, someone's passions, or they could be put off by someone's passions, or they could be, you know, put off by someone wanting to move forward passionately and quickly with something. This could be a distance, right? Maybe distance could be intimidating, or maybe, you know, that's it. That's what I'm going to stop there. And then we'll just sort of continue to move forward with this. Knowing that card. Okay, the Lovers is here in the center of the reading. So you could be dealing with any fire sign, Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo. But the Prince of Wands is there at the bottom of the deck, and the Lovers is here. And this is Mercury, which is Gemini, or mainly Virgo energy. So Virgo and Sagittarius are very prominent here in your reading, and they're both talking about knowledge, information, how you are using that information, what is happening with that information, what are you doing with that information, and also what direction are you going in? Do you know what direction you're going in? Um, the Lovers is talking about the beauty of reciprocity and knowing where you stand in a situation, knowing what something is doing for you, what it's providing for you, you know, and knowing what it is that you're giving back to it. This is kind of, you know, no risk, no reward. But then at the same time, yeah, definitely no risk, no reward. You know, with the Lover's card. But then it also talks about your habits. It talks about your daily practices. And it talks about, you know, healthy patterns that you can access that can keep you on the straight and narrow. You know, keep something familiar to you. The Lovers is talking about the reciprocity and the benefit of making something familiar to you, right? Especially if it's serving you. You know, you have to think, the Lovers, Mercury, about how something is serving you. Is it of use? You know, is it useless? Is it the right fit? Is it not the right fit? So that's what you're determining here. If something is the right fit for you, you know. Let's look at what that challenge and what that immediate influence is. The Five of Wands. So yeah, looking at the Lovers, right? And the influence of the Lovers is conflict, competition, right? Playing games, game playing, wanting to be recognized, wanting to be respected, wanting the ego to be stroked, or wanting the ego to be celebrated, you know? But something is preventing or restricting this acknowledgement of what's happening, or the acknowledgement of the commitment. Something is getting in the way of the acknowledgement of the commitment here, you know? And, you know, it could just be the energy of opposition, or that someone always has to be right, or someone always has to be justified, or this could also just even be, you know, dealing with too many people, okay? Also, if you all are going, you know, dealing with work stuff, um, I feel like some of you are ready to go back to work, with the Prince of Wands being here, the purpose, right? And then the Lovers being the sixth house of Virgo, which is talking about daily life, right? And then the Five of Wands, the five could be talking about the institution of work and feeling like something is missing because you haven't been going to work on your normal daily schedule. You know, the Lovers is talking about your schedule as well, right? The Lovers could even be speaking of your internal schedule, you know, on a deeper level, the your health, right? And when I say your schedule, I mean like the menstrual cycle, because Virgo does talk about cycling through things every day, the frequency of things. So we're dealing with the frequency, so the vibration, the vibe. Something is being challenged here. You know, what's being frequented? You know, is there a frequent conflict within a group, or is there a frequented conflict within an institution or a commitment? This Prince of Wands person here is saying things. They're trying to get through pretty fiercely. You know, this is movement forward. You know, there's something, I don't know. Prince of Wands. Let me just continue then, because I'm kind of feeling these cards here, right? But this is kind of like a progression of energy, because you're going from Leo, you're going, well, it's kind of backtracking actually, because you're going from 6 to 5. So you're backtracking. You're going from the compromise, the beauty of the experience, seeing what is being resolved, you know? But it's like the conflict is here challenging it, because it is the ego that might be restricting, right? And that's what Saturn teaches us too. We have to, it's all fun and games until you don't feel like you're getting your way. And that's what the Five of Wands is talking about. Or someone isn't getting their way. You know, someone may desire something, or someone may want to create something, right? You might even feel like your vitality is restricted. Something that may have brought you vitality on a regular is being restricted, obviously. So now, you know, your sense of self is is at default here, right? Or you're not at default, but your sense of self is, you know, is vibrating on a lower level, right? I think what you have to see here is not what is being gained or what is being recognized or what is being, you know, acknowledged or announced. It's like, it's what is being experienced here. You have to look at what challenges lie within your daily experience and within your daily habits. What habits are creating challenges for you? What habits are restricting you? It could be anything, right? Because we are talking about health here with the Lovers, right? The amount of sleep you get, the amount of water you drink, the amount of, you know, what am I saying? Hygiene you practice. It's all of that. It's washing your hands. It's being polite around others and appreciating others' health and that kind of things too. Acknowledging and respecting others' health, what they require. And it's not, it's just naturally, it's logic and practical, you know. And it's we're what we're trying to resuscitate is the beauty. We're trying to reciprocate, you know, those positive um, affirmations, those types of things, you know. We can acknowledge what it is that isn't right, but then we're coming up with something that is, right? There is the challenge of the five and the conflict of that and the severity of realizing that there's challenges and conflict, and there are urges to do something about things, especially when you are recognizing it, right? So when you can recognize something, then you then have a responsibility to do something about what you are seeing, right? Or you feel like there's an obligation to acknowledge something that is clear to you, okay? And the challenge in acknowledging something that is clear to you, or understanding something, or something being clear to you, is that your the ego, the self expression, is getting in the way of the we, right? So let's look at your past position here. The Magician. This is how the past is influencing your future. The Magician is talking about what it is that you are acknowledging. It also is talking about, you know, a level of risk that is involved. You know, this is the psychological presence, being present in the mind, right? As above, so below, right? You are the walking embodiment of God consciousness, right? So it's kind of like as above, so below. You can create things, you can manifest things, you can generate things, right? It's within you. Yeah, that's what the Magician shows you. You are where it begins. You are where it starts. Mercury is the esoteric ruler of Aries. So what are you thinking about? What's on your mind? Things that are on your mind are inspiration. What is inspiring you, right? What is Spirit saying to you? It's Mercury. It's communication. What messages are being brought down from higher planes into your brain, your head, and you are being inspired to contemplate? What are you doing? You know, and it's like the things that you think about, those are what you take action from, you know, being inspired, being led, being guided. You know, it's like street signs. That's what I was saying to a friend of mine the other day. I was like, you know, your thoughts and your intuition also are like street signs. You know, it kind of gives you a sense of like where you should go from here. Where do I need to take it from here? You know, and that's kind of what the Magician is. It's like, take it from here, you. That's like Spirit being like that. And you're like, I got it. Okay, work. No, I'm the one. You're basically the middleman, right? It's Spirit, and then you, and then the thing that you create from knowing that you can do it. Okay. I yeah. I think therefore I am, right? I think therefore I am. So we're talking about visualization. We're talking about using that sense of imagination to bring something into view. We are bringing something into view, right? We can see the potential. We're using that. So, what were you aware of? What became aware to you? What was it that you were inspired to see? What were you recognizing that is new, that may have changed from what you might have been acknowledging or seeing, or what you knew before? Something's different. And this is something has to be adjusted and adapted to. Because you have the Lovers here, which is Mercury, and then you have the Magician, which is also Mercury. You have two cards that are mutable with the Prince of Wands. So you're dealing with Gemini and Virgo energy, but then it's opposition here as well from the Prince of Wands being Sagittarius. So there's some conflict, okay? And there's some squaring energy here, which is talking about, the resolution, right? Resolve. Where's the resolve here? Where is the resolve? That's the immediate influence here. So we're trying to resolve something. We're trying to resolve a conflict within ourselves, right? That affects others. Okay? And we were aware of this recently. Because the magician is talking about recent stuff. Recently, you were inspired to act. Or maybe there was the act of communication that sort of triggered this, right? This missing piece of the puzzle, or this stirring up, or this cycle. There's conflict here in the Five of Wands that keeps repeating itself through the Lovers. And where's the reciprocity of this conflict here? Right. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at your Sun position. You got the Ten of Pentacles. This is the Wealth card. So this is talking about money. A focus could be brought to money, to career, to what you are doing to make or generate money or career. This is also talking about changes that occur in that area. What are you doing to earn money? How do you treat money? Because it's talking about respecting money too. Because the Ten of Pentacles is related to the 10th house. That's the house of respect, right? Respecting rules, governing systems of money. How are you managing money systems? That type of thing. Are you aware of what has to be done? And do you know where your responsibility lies? The Ten of Pentacles is talking about the growth of your needs. And it talks about the expansion, right? Just needing more. Needing to provide more. You could be worrying or thinking, because this Ten of Pentacles is reducing to an ace and it's crowning the Magician here. So you could be thinking of how you're going to support, right? How you're going to build, how you're going to sustain something. Okay? So the focus is about, we are appreciating something, truly. We are appreciating it. But we brought it all the way around, full circle, right? We've learned a thing or two. We have some experience now, right? So we realize what we're dealing with. Now we really know what we're dealing with here with this Ten of Pentacles. Yeah? And there are lots of different ways to deal, to utilize what you have. Right? What am I working with? What am I dealing with here? Time, energy, and effort, There's a lot of things that have to be done. There's a lot of work that has to be done. Okay? A lot of different focuses as well. Okay? It's also kind of like, just chores, responsibility, work. Staying busy, You just got a lot of things that you got to take care of. And you might be worrying a little bit about it. Yes. But it's kind of like, it's better to have something going on than to have nothing going on. Right? So definitely keep yourself busy. Whatever it is, keep moving throughout the day. Right? Keep producing something. Keep that productivity. If you're not doing something, be learning something, right? Even if you are using your time to focus, you know, if you're writing things down, that's something. And this is the ability to focus on many different things at a time. You know, you just have to be able to channel the energy, right? You have to be able to steer it, pull it into one lane. You know, it really is one thing at a time. That's how you can you can give yourself a little bit of um you know, solace, or that's how you can give yourself a little bit of satisfaction in knowing that things are going well, right? Because you do one thing at a time. You know, I'm doing my best because I'm doing it in a way that's logical and practical, and I'm actually getting things done in that way. You know, if you try to focus on all of the things at once, then you won't feel like anything is happening. You won't feel like you're getting anything done. But if you can focus on one thing at a time, right, which the magician is supporting that, focus on one thing at a time, then you'll get it right. Okay, so let's choose a runes card for you. Let's see what we're working with. I might have to switch this angle around of the camera because it's not light outside anymore. It was before. I got my Swiss ball over here. I don't think I used it. Okay, one more time. All right. Okay. So this is talking about fertility and fruitfulness, right? The appreciation for luxury, right? That's what that is. And this is also just talking about the beauty of everything, being able to see the beauty in everything, right? What's the other card? Gebo. You know, this is an offering here. Okay, this is the acknowledgement of an offering, something that comes easy that you don't even really have to. You know, this is kind of like a gift that's being brought to you, right? Are you seeing it for what it is, kind of? Yeah. Now I'm just gonna read those to you guys. Let's start with Jera because I like this one. It's beautiful, right? Talks about fruit. Let's see. All right. Year, triumph, right? Here's the card. I'll put it up while I'm reading it to you. Jera is tied to the seasons and with harvest time in particular. The card depicts an abundance of ripe fruits and ears of wheat, symbolizing times of good fortune where we finally reap that which we have sown. Our efforts are rewarded, and we see ourselves approach life with serenity and joy that nourish our environment. It is the time of abundance. Everything flows with ease, and we must now slacken our rhythm to enjoy the fruits of our labor. It would be a shame not to fully savor these moments. Do our thoughts wander constantly? Or are we able to be in the present and focus on what we have? What sensation does the future give us? Anxiety or optimism? Do we feel capable of realizing our dreams? Jera makes us calmer and present in ourselves. It dispels anxiety and has a relaxing power. It's like a still life. Pleasure, peace as well. Now let's read the other one that this is sort of a gift ring. But you have to realize what is being offered to you, you know? If you don't realize or if you don't see or if you can't understand what's being offered to you, then you won't know what it's worth, you know, or what good it can do for you. Here we are. Gratitude, gift. This rune relates to feelings of gratitude you have when you are given something as well as our generosity in giving of ourselves. A young man offers a cup that appears full and abundant. His expression is serene and generous, as well as resolute and dignified. Gebo means gift in the material, emotional, and spiritual sense. Devotion and reward are the two fundamental aspects of this card. We must not be afraid to make the first move and act freely without asking for anything in return. This attitude is actually a sign of inner strength. Are we capable of giving love? Does our presence enrich group moments and make them more peaceful? Are we capable of giving love? I'm reading it again. Does our presence enrich group moments and make them more peaceful? Do we tend to absorb energies from others, or do we give them with generosity? Are we a reference point for others? Gebo helps to open our heart to the ideals of brotherhood and cooperation. And that's definitely what the Five of Wands is talking about. The lovers, you know. The knights don't really get very far until they you don't get to be a knight until you've learned ways about yourself and about human nature as well. Because these knights are kind of like anticipatory feelings. Anticipate, right? Intimidation, anticipation. So let's flip over the moon card for you. Nine of Pentacles. That keeps coming up for people. For most of the almost every reading that I've done today, the Nine of Pentacles has come up. The nines are talking about foundation, principles, knowledge. Where are we going with that knowledge, right? The Nine of Pentacles is talking about, it's Venus in Virgo, and Venus is in its fall here, right? Which says that it's not just about finding pleasure in things, it's about the experience, and it's about learning, you know? It's about adjusting as well. Making these adjustments so that your reality can be what you ultimately need it to be. What's best for you as well. The Nine of Pentacles is saying that you are going in the direction of what is best for you. You know, this Venus is in its fall in Virgo just because you could be disconnecting from what actually is meant for you to be, is meant for you to see on a sacred level, right? And it doesn't want you to just be materialistic. It's like your goals can't just be based on materialism. And also it's kind of like it's how you separate yourself too. It's how you detach. It's also talking about isolation. So it could be the appetite, or it could just be the focus on the material that might be isolating you. Because it's a nine. It's a nine in the moon position. It's a nine in the moon position. So the Nine of Pentacles is saying that there's something that you are learning. There is something that you are discovering. There is something that is being realized by you through the, experience that you have been going through emotionally that is attached to your material codependencies, right? If that makes any sense. Um, yeah. Let's look at your anxieties here. Four of Cups, codependencies, emotional codependencies, physical codependencies with this four being here. But this is kind of like not seeing what actually is, you know? Not seeing what actually is. There's a fear to express, or there's a fear to give in, right? There's a fear in receiving, in showing love, that type of thing, right? And this is interesting that this is in the anxieties for you because you are very emotionally detached sometimes, you know? Sometimes your emotions are really just based on ego or what you want, what you desire. This could even be saying that your emotional fulfillment could be sexual. It could be in terms of alcohol as well. You know, maybe the alcohol or maybe what it is that you might be using to feed yourself, feed your spirit, feed your soul. It might be making you more depressed or just sad. This is emotions that are kind of fixed almost. Not fixed emotions, but you're like stable in this emotional state. It's an emotional state that you are in, and it's bringing you more anxiety. You know, it just feeds, one thing feeds into the next, right? And I feel like you are unaware of what is possible, right? Because you are so transfixed on your feelings, you know? It's, I am feeling this way, but it's like, what are you going to do about feeling that way? You know, you are not your feelings, right? Your feelings are almost like a separate being on their own. That's why this is a four. And it's also moon in Cancer. So it's the heightened awareness of the emotional state that could be preventing you from seeing how you can, you know, solve this emotional conflict. There is a way for you to solve this emotional conflict. You just have to see where it's possible. You know, there are going to be things that are going to be offered to you for you to receive that are going to be, you know, answers to the emotional, you know, um, the sadness, right? Because it's being alone in your emotional state as well. Like, there might even be people that are there, or there might be solutions that are there. There are solutions that are close by, but you have to believe, right? You kind of have to like attune yourself to that. In your Mars position, you have the Princess of Pentacles, and this is talking about a change in, you know, the way that you appreciate time, money, everything. You're being challenged. I feel like you're being given almost kind of like an allowance, right? You're restricted, but you're seeing how you can make the best out of your restrictions or out of your limitations, right? In your Venus position, you have the Feralt, which is the Temperance card, and this is talking about challenges that you might be facing just with yourself, personal challenges, right? Maybe it doesn't have anything to do with anyone else. It's just where you find yourself in this moment, and maybe you want to change something about yourself, you know? Just because you've had enough experiences and now you're making some conscious changes, right? You're aware of the changes that need to take place in a relationship as well. And you're dealing with the Sag, right? You could be dealing with the Sagittarius, an Aries, or Cancer, right? Leo. But there's happiness on the other side of this. Whatever this conflict is that you find yourself in, right? Relationship wise. Or even if it's a job, you're figuring something out. You're figuring out how to make it work for you. And there's some things that you are learning and that you are figuring out in this process that you are going through. It's almost like you're at a fork in the road. And you're just determining what this new, how you're going to identify with this new experience, or how you're going to identify with yourself moving forward. You know, you are the alchemical process. So you are always going to be readjusting different ratios. Hi. You're the alchemical process, so you're just going to always be making these attunements, right? Tune-ups to yourself, right? It's kind of like adjusting the recipe. I'm reading for the Aquas. So yeah. Now I'm going to choose a card from the Romance Angels Oracle deck by Doreen Virtue. Okay, let's just see what goes on with these. Shuffle here. But yeah, definitely some challenges that you are facing within yourself, you know, realizing how you've changed, wanting to see some adjustments to, you know, your personality, I guess. You've noticed some character shifts within yourself. Release your ex, let go of control issues. You know, you're just feeling like you're ready for a change yourself. Flirt. Extend your lighthearted energy to others. So this could even just be saying be a little bit more playful. Don't be so... Extend your lighthearted energy to others. Show people that you know, you aren't so dense, meaning like serious. You're not so heavy, right? Or you're not so over there, right? Detached from everyone else's experience. You're detached from the experience that everyone else is having, but you can see everyone having the experience. And while everyone is having their experience, you're making these adjustments to yourself. Seven of Cups in the energy moving forward. So this is talking about some confusion when trying to figure out a solution or figure out the answers. You know, how am I feeling? What do I want? You know? This could be basing your desires on the desires of someone else. And if your desires are based on the desires of someone else, then you might be being manipulated emotionally, right? You might be allowing yourself to be manipulated emotionally with this Seven of Cups. So I want you to think about that, where that could actually be happening, or where there might be potential for that to be happening. You know, the Seven of Cups is talking about something that needs to stop. You know, it needs to be seen. It needs to be understood. It needs to be felt. You need to move on from this point, right? You're gonna get there though. Like you're gonna come to this place of just kind of like asking yourself a few questions. You know, why do I feel this way? What's making me feel this way? Um, that type of thing. Did I make somebody feel this way? You know, you could be regretting, because the Seven of Cups is talking about regret, right? For me, it's also talking about, a little resentment, regret, resentment. Um, yes. And you might even be feeling like you gave your power away, or you might feel like you gave your power away in the future, moving forward here. And I'm just giving it to you how I see it. It's Seven of Cups and the energy moving forward and the outcome, right? So this says that you're probably going to be emotionally stuck in a place within a relationship. You know, this is Venus and Scorpio. And this is Venus being in her, being debilitated here, right? Not being able to see the bright side, you know? Square one. Back to the Start. You know that? Is that a Coldplay song? Back to the Start? You know that song, right? Let's flip over your future card. Prince of Pentacles, which is the Knight of Pentacles. That's Virgo energy. That's talking about an adjustment. You're having to make a real adjustment here. You know, slowly. It's heavy too. It's kind of like trudging along, plodding along, slow developments, right? But this is reliable. This is resourceful. This is, keeping it going. If this Seven of Cups is saying, there's disappointment ahead, then the Prince of Pentacles is saying, you're going to be able to deal with it, right? Because there's water, and what balances that out? Earth. You're keeping your head on what's important, hopefully, you know. And 1/3 of that Virgo energy is Leo, right? So you're keeping your spirit, you're keeping a strong spirit within yourself. You're keeping courage. There's courage here as you move forward slowly from whatever this Seven of Cups, you know, disappointment is. So let's go ahead and flip over the top card for you, the Ten of Swords. There we go. So this talks about endings and completions, and also, how information and knowledge has manifested into now knowing. It could be a lot of questions that you may have been asking. You could have been going around in circles with a lot of thought patterns that were out of control, just a lot of worry and a lot of anticipation, It's almost kind of like meeting your match here too with the Ten of Swords, and then it also being Gemini, but then at the same time it's related to the Wheel of Fortune, which is a 10. So it's talking about like no more opportunities, being out of opportunities perhaps, right? Turn me to stone, the song says. Alright, so time could be running out on something, And maybe you're dealing with the Gemini, but this is bringing clarity. There's a moment of clarity here when you realize that, you know, something has maybe exhausted itself, right? There's an old way of thinking that has exhausted itself with the Ten of Swords. This card fell, so I'm going to read it. The Divine Director. Intervention and purpose. Divine intervention is occurring. Know that you are being guided. Happiness is your purpose, right? Of course. So maybe you put enough time and energy into something, maybe enough thinking, right? Done. Right? Intervention. Purpose. Divine intervention is occurring. You know, the sevens are a sacred number, right? It talks about completion in a sense, wrapping something up, understanding something, making a decision, coming to a conclusion about something. Yes? Passages. Portals even. Okay? Love it. Does that mean? Okay, Aqua. Please follow me on Instagram. It's NYC Kendrick. And the channel's name is also Providence Tarot on IG. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. I will leave information in the description box for you to donate if you so choose. Thank you so much, everyone. And I'll be posting the weeklies sometime soon. Sorry that you didn't get your reading for April, but you have this one now.